Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
Greetings, everybody, East, West, North, South, worldwide, and welcome to All About Sports 216 with me, Keith Allen, and along with me is my partner in crime, my man Ed in Columbus. What's going on with y'all on the special Saturday night edition of All About Sports 216, Cleveland Browns edition, because the Browns, guess what, opened their preseason today against the Green Bay Packers. Almost forgot. Believe that. The Green Bay Packers, which the Browns lost 23-10. No, was it 23-10? Yeah, 23-10. The Browns are 0-1 in the preseason. They will be having joint practices next week with the Minnesota Vikings, and they'll be taking on the Minnesota Vikings next week at Cleveland Browns Stadium as well at 4:25 in the afternoon next Saturday. The Browns 0-1. The Minnesota Vikings, I don't know, they play today or something like that and everything. So let's get to them particulars first before we start talking about what happened in the game or not, whatnot. Which, you know, preseason is preseason, so hey, not too much to put into it. But first off, the chat lines are open to our Twitter fans, to our Facebook fans, and to our YouTube fans, and also to my LinkedIn crowd as well. The chat lines are open. Feel free to holler at us. You want to tell us about the Browns? You feel some kind of way about the Browns losing? Lay it on us. If you feel some kind of way about the Guardians, as they are embarked on hard times as well, feel free to holler at us. We are your release today. If you are frustrated with things the way they're going in the Cleveland sports world today, feel free to hit us up. Chat with us. Hit us up. We'll definitely take your speeches and everything, you know. Hey, but like I said, the chat lines are open. Feel free to hit us up. Now, don't be shy now. Hit us up. Also, as I scroll down and hit the ticker and everything, All About Sports normally is live every Sunday at 12 p.m., but due to a little scheduling conflict, brother man got to make some dollars. You know how that goes. Make some dollars to keep the show going right now until we get big enough and everything where we can get sponsors and people can start donating to our super chats or whatnot in the future and everything. Right now, it's on tonight. No All About Sports tomorrow. No tomorrow. 12 p.m., y'all could sleep in. Y'all could definitely sleep in. But also, while you're watching this video, especially if you're on YouTube, watching it from YouTube, be sure to see, it's supposed to show. There we There we go. Got stuck. Be sure to like this video. Share this video. That means for all you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, along with YouTube, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the Island Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. That's right. The Island Viz Media 2 YouTube channel, where you get content from this show itself, All About Sports 216, with me and that handsome guy from Columbus right there, Ed. Ed. And also, you'll get Also, footage from the Triad Committee with me, Romeo Rodriguez, and Nasty Nail. Even though Nasty Nail wasn't on there today, he's going through some technical difficulties. But hey, hopefully next week we'll have all that shit worked out. But anyway, back to what I was going to. The Cleveland Browns lost today against, I ain't even got the what's the name on the thing. But Cleveland Browns lost to the Green Bay Packers 23-10. Browns are 0-1 in the preseason and anything and everything. Hey, they got the Minnesota Vikings next week. So, Ed, what are your thoughts?
Well, I want to say, hey, it's Saturday night. We're all revved up. We do have a place to go, and that's to be with you guys tonight, talking about preseason football. Football is back on the lakefront. That's a good thing. Some good things. Cade York making a long field goal. Not going to be on the team, but, it's kind of weird to see him still on the roster. But, hey, if we can help a brother out and get a job, land something, it's fine.
He might be on the practice squad. Hey, Dustin Hopkins got hurt last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you never know. Maybe he could be the guy kicking the game-winning field goal in December. You don't know. Hopefully nothing happens to Hopkins. We signed him to a long-term contract, and rightfully so. But hey, with anything. So it's good to see Cade York get it done. Also, too, I know we'll get into it probably in more depth, obviously, because it involves a QB position. But I think it is a no-doubt, no-brainer that DTR is going to be on the squad. Huntley will be the guy to go, because you look at this roster and you want to be serious about this year. We'll get into the Ayuk Amari Cooper drama as well. But I look at it this way, Keith. It's all about 2024 with the Cleveland Browns. And
yes,
you want to field the best team. And you can't argue that Jameis Winston will be your backup, and rightfully so. But
no doubt.
You got to have that third wheel, per se. And you got to go with somebody that showed promise. That one throw that he made to the sideline, and he whipped that ball over with, and he got the personal foul penalty to go as long to set up before we got the touchdown. But I mean, that is definitely some arm strength that you got to keep, because he knows the system. You see him out there running the system. He knows it so well. It's not coincidental. I think sometimes when these quarterbacks or preseason quarterbacks, you look and saw what he did against the Eagles last year, and we fell in love with him because of it. And I think we're falling in love with DTR all over again because of this game. Very efficient with the arm strength, the command. And this is a new offense too. This is a new offense. He's a second-year player, guy learning a new offense in his second year in the league, and yet he took that playbook and whatever plays they call for him, shredded Green Bay, looked good in the process of doing it, keeping drives alive. So DTR, I just think from for financial flexibility as well, you always want to keep guys like that on the cheap. You got a rookie contract. You don't know. You're going to have to pay JOK. You're going to have to pay some other guys. But I'm excited about Cade York and DTR today are my two biggest, because there's a lot of bad too, and we'll get into that as well, Keith.
Oh man, you made me laugh when you said there was a lot of bad.
There was. I mean, I love the Browns, but let's be real. You got burned early on. I mean, really, seriously. I blinked my eye and it's down 7-0. And I understand that happens. But this Browns defense, I don't care if it's the second team players or the third team players. This is Jim Schwartz. This isn't a new defense. The Browns offense is a new offense. This is a second year of a scheme. So, and it wasn't like the players that, got burned on that play. It wasn't all second. I mean, most of it was second and third, but it wasn't like third and fourth guys that are street free agents that are not going to make these. A lot of them are expected to compete for a job and stuff. And for that to happen, you can't have that. You can't.
Well, on that first touchdown pass, it reminded me of the Houston game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Schematic breakdowns, and then you get burned only having the one guy open when the safety has to help like that. I mean, you can't. Yeah,
bad. But let me start off with the good.
Okay, let's do that.
We go to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Sure.
First off, the good, the great. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They said he was having a great camp.
Yeah, well, it showed.
And he showed 14 of 18, 134 yards. He should have had a touchdown pass, even though it was called back on the penalty and everything. Rookie mistake. Yeah. I think Mentor, that's his name.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman.
Yeah,
rookie mistake. He'll learn and everything. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the good. Jamari Thrash.
Ooh, that was a nice catch.
Rookie wide out.
Yes.
Yes. 3 receptions for 43 yards.
He looks fast doing it too. Looks fast.
Yes, yes, he does. He looked it good. Let me see who else. Who else? Let me see. Going to the Browns. Let's see. Okay, okay. We go to the Browns stats. Jamari Frash actually, okay. Jamari Frash was another receiver that looked it good too.
Yeah.
Um,
Was it 80 something? There's a couple.
yeah, 87.
Was it pro
87.
something? Pro who was that? Pro whatever.
Crochet caught one pass for
Yeah.
17 yards.
Yeah, that was a nice
Was
play. I
it
remember.
C. Mitchell Payton or somebody?
Yeah. Wow.
He had 3 catches for 20 yards, and
Well, I mean,
and
these are not household names, everybody. Like,
yeah,
look, we're
not
not
household names.
these are not household. Yeah.
That's not household names. K. York made his kicks,
Yep.
made the extra point, and made that long field goal. Shouts
Yeah.
out to K. York and everything. And honestly, if he doesn't make the team, I would definitely like to keep him on the practice squad
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm jaded from last year. We had injuries up the
Yeah.
ass last year. As far as
I
now,
want to give yeah, sorry. Would you go? You win that one. Whatever you're gonna say it, Keith. That was hot.
now we're gonna go to the bad.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can go there because I was going to mention something right before. So this goes hand in hand. You say that, I got to bring it up for bad. Obviously, John Kelly's fumble. But I want to say something about that.
Yeah.
That cat has tried his butt off and looks good every preseason. I know he's been on the practice squad like the last 4 years. I like John Kelly Jr. I love him on the Browns. I love the fact that we've never really had to use him in the regular season as much as, you know what I'm saying? But he is a quality. He knows the offense. He made a couple catches out the backfield. Besides the fumble, which it sucks that he fumbled, I just want to say he's a dog. And something about his game, I think, Keith, that, you know, it's going to be listed as the bad. And I'm glad you jumped into it and you screamed out the bad because it is bad. You don't want to put the ball on the ground. But everything that he tried to make up for it. He looks like an Ernest Biner kind of player. He reminds me of Ernest Biner, not as talented, obviously, but he's that kind of player.
You don't want to put the ball on the ground and turn the ball over, especially when you came from last year and led the league in turnovers.
Yeah, we did that a lot last year.
Yes, the bad, the fumble. The bad also. I was more alarmed on defense, for real.
Ooh, good. I'm glad you said that.
Blown coverages, like on that first touchdown pass from Jordan Love.
Yeah, can't have that.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
Man. Blown coverage there. And the fact that Green Bay outrushed us and really out physicaled us on the offensive line. Defensive line. They won it. And it was the same actually on the opposite side when Green Bay was on defense. They controlled the line of scrimmage as far as the run game and stuff. Now, let's not get too carried away really with the offensive running game because we ain't had no Nick Chubb. And Ford only carried the ball twice.
Yeah.
So, but overall on defense was kind of alarming.
I agree.
Really alarming on
I
defense.
agree with that.
Even though you didn't have Tomlinson in them there and stuff like that.
But it's the same scheme, and here's the thing: like even the backups that you think would play more solid. Here's the thing: like maybe backups, come in there and they're not as good as the starters, but they don't. You shouldn't get exposed schematically where you get one over the top. You can't have that.
No, you can't have that and everything. And there will be a lot of film watching and a lot of humble moments in Berea tomorrow. Trust me. Trust me, it'll be a lot of humble moments tomorrow and everything. But other than that, it really went. Besides on offense, with Thrash and DTR and the other kid, number 87, that caught the touchdown pass, that got called back.
Yeah,
wasn't really much to really write home about, for real.
No. Well, I think maybe that's the thing about it because the Browns have so much talent with their first team, and you're going to have this first game where, when you're starting off with your second and third and then maybe your fourth string kind of right away. I mean, it's really hard to judge. Okay, like I said, I think the first 5 minutes to 10 minutes is kind of telling the first couple series. I think what it comes down to is the 1 or 2 series on defense, 1 or 2 series on offense. After that, it kind of is, this backup versus this backup at this position. So you never know what the play's really going to look like. But yeah, to your point, alarming that we got one taken on us because that was the first, was it first possession? I mean,
very first possession, and it was on a 3rd and 5 or something like that.
That's alarming. Correctable, obviously. Don't let it happen again. But
Oh yeah,
the rest of the game, I don't think you can get paid lots of dollars at ESPN right now, or you could be us right now talking. And I don't know if there's a correct answer to say about what there is to see from that game because, like you said, a lot of the
no,
players are mixed and match. I could be a second string guy going up against a third string guy. I could be this, that. Different. You don't know. We don't know. They don't. Even some of the coaches don't know. You put those players out there.
exactly.
You hope somebody stands out in the game, and that's what. And I think
You
we did. We had a
just
couple players that did stand out a little bit.
you just mixing and matching. That's
You're
all.
mixing and matching. That's what you're doing. You're hoping
You're
something
mixing
sticks.
and matching. It
Yeah.
takes me back like when I used to coach baseball and stuff, and the scrimmages I never really took serious. I ain't gonna say I never really took them seriously, but I mixed and matched. I would throw kids in positions that I know I wouldn't play them
Right.
if
It's
it
for the
was a real
development
game.
more than the winning.
Development, and
Yeah.
plus you might find lightning in a bottle and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
So
Exactly.
today it's like oh well, it's a loss.
Yeah,
So
losses don't. Hey, what was this? Hugh Jackson won undefeated 2017 preseason
sure did, and
championship.
they went unwinnable
Oh, and
that year.
16 in the regular season.
Right. So I mean, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is. The Browns lost 23-10. They was out physical, but other than that, I mean, you had good performance from DTR. That was really the player of the game for the Browns, to be honest. He was the
I
player of the game. DTR and everything. And like I said, next week the Browns will be taking on Minnesota. They'll be having practices with Minnesota here and everything where Deshaun and them will get their work. So, and then they'll play them on Saturday where you won't see Deshaun. You'll probably see Jameis Winston as a starter. And it'll be interesting who you will see as the second quarterback next week between Huntley and DTR.
That's a good one. I hope it's DTR. I hope it's
Let's see,
DTR.
and Huntley didn't do too bad either.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
it's no knock on him. I think
Yeah, I'm
but I
not going
just
him
think
either.
for what you're developing because eventually what you're trying to do is and Watson stay that'll be the long term in a perfect world, and then DTR is the backup in a perfect world, and that's how you
Yeah.
move forward. That's
And
your
the
roster.
thing what the Browns are going to go through and that's going to be a tough decision for the number 3 quarterback, by the way, because do you go with the experience and Huntley?
No, because I think DTR you want him on this team
Yeah,
next year as your backup.
yeah,
You don't get rid of
true,
him. Huntley's gone.
true.
Huntley's gone.
And plus, DTR is on the cheap right now too.
That's a lot to do with
And
that because then
Huntley costs a little bit more money, and you're gonna need that money to pay some of these other
let's be
guys.
real. Deshaun Ball's out this year.
Which he
DTR,
is.
which is okay. That's fine. Take it for what it is. He is okay. In a perfect world, that's what happens. And then DTR is your backup next year. Winston, thanks for your service this year. Huntley's going to be gone by the end of training camp. So let's be real. He'll get cut so he can sign with another team.
Honestly, I'd rather keep Winston another year.
Well, we got to see. I mean, I think if
You
the Browns,
I'm greedy. I'm greedy.
that's fair. No, I understand.
Because
I
check
get
out,
it.
Ed.
I get
You
it.
know the Cleveland Browns history with quarterbacks.
I know.
How many quarterbacks did we play last year?
5 total. 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think DTR is going to actually, I guess what I'm trying to say is, Keith, I can see a world where DTR gets better this year. And by next year, if they were competing, I think DTR is probably better than Winston. Maybe after a good year, he could be that good. I see the things he does, and it's like I like the mobility better with him. Winston is a gunslinger, and he's going to throw a lot of he's like Flacco. He's going to throw a lot of interceptions, a lot of touchdowns.
Flacco
We know
Jr.
what we get with him. Yeah, he is. But DTR can be that kind of guy. Like remember when Vince Young was Vince Young for that year in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Remember when he has Vince Young qualities to him.
But
he really
think about it. Think about it. With DTR, all fairness aside, with DTR, he was starting to turn the corner in that Denver game.
Before he got hurt.
Yes.
I know.
He was starting to turn the corner.
Yeah.
And when DTR went out in that Denver game,
I knew it was over.
You knew damn well it was the L.
But I thought if he stayed in, we were going to win it.
But you thought if he stayed in,
I thought we were going to win that game.
Yep. I thought we had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, I did too. I agree.
And DTR his work so far has shown that he's worked in the offseason.
He beat Pittsburgh. At home.
Definitely. I mean, hey, But I would like Jameis Winston another year or two. I'm
That's
greedy.
fair. That's fair. But I think if we get what we want to, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
because we
And
got to play
but I
on
know
the
in
stage.
a perfect world, like you said,
Yeah,
we gotta pay some people pretty
yeah, we
soon
got to pay.
because that defensive end is gonna be up for some more
Yeah,
money soon. That linebacker is gonna
yep,
be up for some more money pretty soon.
yep.
And you might have to re-up on a cornerback, one of the cornerbacks.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
actually, about two of them. Whether you're
yeah,
going to keep Newsom or not, and then
yeah.
Emerson will be up
Emerson's
pretty
the guy.
soon.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to get
Yeah,
paid. Like he's
and I
going to get
think Emerson
paid.
is going to be the one that's going to get paid.
That's the franchise. That's the one. That's the maybe it could be the best one of them all when it's said and done.
Yes, yes, because I think honestly, a lot of the linemen that are presently on the Browns right now
Cheap Hall's
will
cheap,
not
and
will
yeah,
not be on the Browns next year
yeah,
or the
that's
year
fair.
after.
Yeah, that's
I would
fair.
say that. I definitely say that
Like Tomlinson and
because truthfully, well, yeah, Tomlinson might still be there,
he might
but I
be if
mean
he.
on the
He'll be
offensive
a
line
the offense. Okay,
with
okay.
Betonio, Teller,
Yeah, one of them's gonna be gone.
Jedrick Wills,
Yeah,
Conklin.
Conklin. Yep.
You got a lot of high paid dudes on
Yeah,
that
and that are
offensive line
getting older and
and
getting more
getting older.
injury
Yes,
prone too.
yes.
So
So it's all gonna balance out and everything, and But hey, I'm confident in the Browns this year because, like I said, if I was to do the AFC North,
yeah,
I can give you 4 reasons why 4 different teams in that division can win the division.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
And I can give you 4 reasons why every team in that division could finish in last
Above
place,
500. Yeah. Oh, last
above
place. Yeah.
500.
Yeah, that
So,
we did that last year. Every team did, and
yes.
we predicted it as well. So I mean,
So it'll be pretty interesting and everything. It'll be very interesting. Which brings us to
the ugly,
the ugly.
the ugly. We're at the ugly now. Yeah, I know not too much
Well,
bad, not too much. We had the good, the bad. Now we got the ugly. I don't think there was too much bad. I think we're all in agreement with it.
yeah, it
But
wasn't too
it's
much bad. The ugly was that they got out physical
yeah,
against Green Bay on both sides of the line. On both sides. And even though you don't really have the starters that would be in there during the
yeah.
regular season and stuff like that, because Mo Hurst and them is like situational linemen and stuff like that. They're like situational linemen. Um,
I thought the stadium looked ugly. You know why I want to say that? It's because the more and more I got to get used to Brook Park, the more every time I see Cleveland Browns Stadium, the
I was
one where
gonna
they're
get
currently
to
playing,
that.
I have to in my mind think it's ugly, ugly, ugly. So it just it makes it even more like this new dome and the idea of it. Because there's still some Browns fans that aren't on board. I'm all for it, but I do kind of I will say one thing: when I see that stadium on the lake and they do the aerial shots of it. I do think that is cool. I think that's one thing when you do play downtown with the buildings. I get that, but it's not like the Brook Park won't look good and they'll do aerials of still downtown Cleveland. It's just I'm just so used to their stadium being on the lake, and when they do those kind of shots, it will be something different that they're not there. But so in my mind, I have to make that stadium seem like it's the ugliest thing in the world. But hey, Jimmy's World's coming, and Keith, I'm kind of excited for it.
Jimmy's World's coming with all the bells and whistles. Like I said it before, this has been a done deal for a while, for real, for real.
It has.
It's been a done deal for a while. Because if a lot of these folks don't think Jimmy had people in place,
Well,
architects, everything
Well,
in
we saw
place,
that, Keith. What you're referring to is obviously the video that the Cleveland Browns dropped this past week, where it
yes.
shows a rendering, a 2-minute video. And let's be real, Keith. Those images, those drawings, those renderings, that vision of Cleveland and Brook Park and the new Browns dome, that didn't just happen overnight. That was extensive, months and months and months with that architectural firm, the same one that built SoFi, the same one that built all these different ones, the ones in Minnesota. So a lot of people are saying it's a regurgitated version of all those, and I do kind of see what they're saying there, but I think it's the best one. I think when you look at the whole campus and what the Cleveland Browns are bringing in the Haslam Sports Management Group, look, what's there not to like? And the fact, let's be real, $3.6 billion is a hefty price tag, and with cost overruns, probably over $4 billion. I get that. But at the same time, the Haslams are putting up so much of their own private money. I know they're going to own it, and they're going to make them. Look, it takes money to make money. It takes money to make money. People always get mad at the rich people. I'm all for rich people. I'm all for rich people investing in something. It's going to create jobs. It's going, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes, yes. The Haslam's going to benefit the most. I'm not going to lie to you people. You guys are smart people. Rich people are always the ones that make the most money out of all these deals. But at the same time, there's people that will benefit it. A lot of the people that work in Northeast Ohio, a lot of the middle class people as well. And sometimes you don't need government to make a program. You can take private investment, use that with government, and guess what? Everybody can win. And I know there's a lot of people that might not agree with that argument, and that's fine. I get it. It's a fundamental thing. But at the same time, I can't lie to you. I want to see Northeast Ohio thrive, and I think it's a way they can do that, not only on the sports scene, but also economically and also labor-wise as well.
See, and that's why Jimmy wasn't taking it to the ballot.
He knows.
He
But yeah,
already knew what it was, and
you
he
know,
knew he had other investors that was in on it with him.
yeah, you can't. Yeah. And at the same time, I think it would have voted no. I think a lot of people would maybe it wouldn't have been like 95 when Art left. What I'm hearing the public sentiment is it probably would have been closer to 50-50, and it might have been a no vote. And that would have been humiliating, obviously, to the Haslams.
Yeah,
They were going to take their money and do it anyways, to your point, Keith. They didn't need a public vote. I think what they're getting a mixed, besides, too, also, they need to get state money, not just local money. And some of the things that
yes,
the Haslams are smart. They came to Columbus. They talked to a lot of lawmakers. Look, that, Jimmy's brother was the governor of Tennessee a couple of years back, so they obviously
exactly.
they know the political arena to get things done. So
And
that's just the way that it is.
and
I mean,
plus, think about this: the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, city of Kansas City,
yeah,
turned down a stadium proposal
proposal just when they had their
earlier
vote.
this year, just
I saw that.
recently.
Yes.
So
Now the
Jimmy
Royals are
said,
getting. It's funny because the Royals are actually getting a brand new baseball stadium in downtown
"Wow,
Kansas City. So there
really?
is a little bit. Yeah, it depends how you package it, I guess.
Yeah." So like I said, is Jimmy. Jimmy is smart. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And I tell people this: when people get to talking about tradition and all that stuff, honestly, what has the last 60 years besides 1964 been for the Browns of
Heartache,
tradition?
heartache.
Heartache, hard times,
Yes. Yes.
and hard luck losses.
Yep.
Hard luck losses.
Yep.
And sometimes, in order to get out the rut, sometimes you got to step out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And the one thing Jimmy Haslam and D. Haslam and them are not afraid of is stepping out their comfort zone. Think about it. They stepped out their comfort zone and went and bought a share of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
They got a soccer team in Columbus.
Champions.
Champions. Two-time champions, if I'm not mistaken, aren't they?
3-time total, but 2 since
Yeah.
they've owned it. Yes.
Yeah. Two since they've owned it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to step out your comfort zone. And plus, what I will say this and everything, sometimes the brass of the city of Cleveland sometimes doesn't see the forest beyond the trees. Where everybody was thinking about a stadium, but Jimmy was thinking about a stadium along with other things to go
Yes.
along with that stadium.
Things he can
And
control.
truthfully, yeah, things he can control. And
Yeah.
hey, I ain't mad at him. And
No.
think about this: there is not enough room in downtown Cleveland to do that.
Nope.
So I mean, he's going really about 10 minutes away from downtown to Brook Park, where he got 176 acres of land,
Nice.
and it's going to be Jimmy World.
Yep.
And think about the endless possibilities. Instead of having a stadium that you only can use at best 15 times a year, you will be able to use that dome stadium about 100 dates a year.
Yeah.
And it can bring you stuff within the first couple years. It just might guarantee you a Super Bowl,
Yep.
national championship game in college,
Yep.
Big Ten championship game
Yep.
in college. MAC championship
That's just
game,
about to go there.
NCAA Final Four, WrestleMania for all the wrestling fans out there.
Ooh, yeah.
WrestleMania, and of course, countless number of concerts,
Yes.
big concerts, because like Taylor Swift or somebody are come
Yeah.
there. You also get the NCAA Final Four. Didn't
Yep.
I say that already?
Yeah, but there's women's too. So.
Women's too, and we just had the women's this
Yeah, that's what
past
I'm saying.
year.
The women's is getting so big. We always
Yes,
talk about that. They can get those big stadiums now. Before they you'd only have arenas, but now, hey, with the way that the women's game's going, why not?
yes. And I mean, the possibilities are endless. And then, especially if he has hotels out there,
Oh yeah, parking. He
hotels,
wants the parking.
parking,
That's what it is. It's all about that parking.
say that's money.
That's the money.
Parking. And think about it. Like one of the main complaints that about that stadium
Yeah,
downtown is it's off in the middle of nowhere.
that's correct.
And if you park on Superior, you got people that sometimes park on Superior,
Mhm.
Prospect, um, down the East 18th.
Yep.
That's like a mile and a half, almost 2 mile walk down to the stadium.
Yep.
Where in Jimmy World,
It's
you're
right
gonna
there.
be right there.
Probably shuttles. Probably have shuttles too. They'll have
Yes,
shuttles probably.
you'll have shadows and everything.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's thinking ahead of the curve, which sometimes you got to catch up. Now, don't get me wrong, this could be a double win too for
No,
Cleveland too as well if they develop the land properly
yeah.
after the Browns move.
I mean, they've only failed that for 100 years, but maybe they'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, I want to ask the average fan that thinks they still belong on the lake, how has tradition treated you over the last 59 years of the Browns? What has been the Browns' tradition of the last 59 years? I ain't talking about 1964 when they actually won the title. I'm talking about after that, on to this year. What has tradition meant?
Tradition to me is them losing December 24th, 1988. I was 8 years old. It was Christmas Eve, and they had played the Houston Oilers the week before. And Don Strock, Rock Around the Strock, got them the victory 28-23. And then they play. A week later on Christmas Eve, and we lose 24-23 for a team from down south Houston that they were a dome team. They come up to play, and once again the weather and the elements. It was a pretty balmy day. The week before was kind of snowy, but this Christmas Eve was kind of balmy. But still, once again, the elements didn't help the Cleveland Browns. 1980, Red Right 88, team from Oakland comes in. Bad weather, really cold. Throw it in the lake. No. Brian Sipe does not throw it in the lake. He throws it into the hands of the Oakland Raiders, a team from Oakland. Let me guess, that's from California. So once again, you're playing in a
Yeah.
cold January. When did the cold and the elements help the Cleveland Browns in that scenario, Keith?
I can tell you a more recent one. A
Please
couple
do.
years ago, a dome team by the name of the New Orleans Saints
Mm,
came up here and outplayed us,
yeah,
out game planned us.
yeah.
And didn't the New Orleans Saints win?
Yeah. We were up by 10 at halftime, and they came back on
Yeah,
us.
and they came back to win.
Yep.
And so, what has tradition done for the Browns in the last 59 years?
How many
since they won the title?
championship banners are they do they have at Cleveland Brown Stadium, an open air stadium?
They got 8, and that was before the Super
Well,
Bowl.
no, I'm talking about since 1964.
None. None. None
Well,
at
there you
all.
go. Maybe it's time to bring the act indoors.
And sometimes, hey, sometimes you got to step outside the comfort zone.
Or step inside it, or maybe
Yeah.
step inside it, Keith. That's what they need to do. Step inside that
Yeah.
dome. Step inside that
Yes,
Jimmy's
step
one.
inside the dome. And
Yeah.
plus, you probably attract more players that want to come here.
Deshaun Watson wants to play in a dome. Joku wants to play in a dome. These players, and this is a newsflash, they don't have a regional draft. It's not like these players go to college at Northwestern, Ohio State, Michigan State, and then there's a regional NFL draft, but then those players would then go to like Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati. No, this is not a regional draft. The players like Deshaun Watson, like the good players, they're usually from California, Texas, or I'm saying Florida. Georgia. And guess what? They go to college and they get drafted really high by teams like the Cleveland Browns. And guess what? They don't want to play out in the cold. We grew up in Cleveland and we know what it's like to have cold winters. Deshaun Watson, they don't. And guess what? They don't want to find out. And they don't want to play in it. And they don't want their career stats and their career achievements to be impeded by it. They'd rather just have a dome. They're better athletes. We're the better team. I always said this. I had an argument the other day on the dog chug, but shout out to Roger. And it's just like anything. When you have the better team, and everybody says the Cleveland Browns have a better roster, just like the Ohio State Buckeyes have a better roster than in the Big Ten year in and year out, you want to play in a dome against your opponent, because if anytime there's weather elements, it only levels the playing field where the underdog might find a way to win. Because if you line them up, Ohio State and the Cleveland Browns have thoroughbreds, and they're playing against team with these little trotter ponies, okay? And guess what? The only thing that can stop you from winning is the elements. Okay, so that's why the Browns, like with Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett, they want to play in a dome, because you know what? Then the talent never gets diluted. The better team wins. And guess what, people? The better team usually right now is the Cleveland Browns. They have a top 10 roster.
Yes, sir. Yes, they do. And speaking of a top 10 roster, we're going to turn the page a little bit.
Okay.
There was a rumor going around that the Browns are interested in said disgruntled wide receiver in San Francisco by the name of Brandon Ayuk.
Yes, sir.
And San Francisco wanted to seek a trade for him. Now, from what I understand, the Browns offered San Francisco really the best package.
Yes, they did. Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, got some good
best package
sources.
between Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. I mean, not Baltimore.
New England.
Yes. Now, New England offered them the package and offered them the money. Offered Ayuk about allegedly $32 million a year, but Ayuk rebuffed at it.
God, how much does he want?
But I could see why with New England, because New England's nowhere close to winning.
No.
Especially if you're on the precipice of winning the Super Bowl.
No. But I think they're thinking he's 26. He is dynamic, and maybe he helps Drake May develop. Maybe he helps. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like they need a weapon. They don't definitely, even their running back. New England is like a boring vanilla offense, and I feel bad for them. They got to start winning with defense. But bringing Brandon Ayuk in there, I think they need to take a shot at that as Pittsburgh. That's just Cleveland. We'll get into it. Where are you going to go with that one?
Now Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wasn't really offering no players.
They were offering much at all. I don't understand why they were still in it.
They weren't offering much at all.
No,
but
they really.
I don't. Brandon Ayuk, that's where he actually wanted to go to the Steelers.
Right. Yeah.
But Pittsburgh doesn't pay their wideouts there. Yeah. Only wideouts they paid there is Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Only people that's gotten their money in Pittsburgh is Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
And besides that, who else?
Nobody.
T.J. Watt now, but T.J. Watt.
But even Plexico Boris left for the. I mean, he went to the Giants.
Exactly. They've had receivers leave since the 90s, basically, because they wasn't getting paid no money and everything. So I mean, didn't want to go there. Then Cleveland comes along.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk doesn't want to be here either. Cleveland was offering them the money.
Yeah. How much do we know? We don't know how much we
don't know exactly how much, but Cleveland
obviously I don't think it's much. I don't think we could. I don't know what our salary cap situation. I don't want to get yelled at by the capologists out there and the people on X that everybody on X that thinks they know what 2 + 2 is.
How dare you?
Capologist. You got to Keith and check us out all about sports 216 on the old TikTok.
Yes,
it's huge. But Keith, you got to clip it. You know, all these cats out there. You know what I'm saying? They know 2 + 2 and they think they're capologists. I mean, that's just
exactly. Exactly. Now Do you think he'll have a residual effect on Amari Cooper?
I
That the fact
obviously,
that the Browns are offering him up, allegedly offering
yeah.
him up
Well,
for Brandon Ayuk?
it definitely affected him because look, as we all saw the Instagram post by Amari Cooper where he said laugh out loud, I would, referring to the trade to San Francisco. Look, you don't put out a passive aggressive post like that or that's something LeBron James used to do when he was just a member of the Cavs with the fitting out and stuff like that. What I'm saying? It's very funny, very Trump like, very passive aggressive, and I appreciate that. A lot of people, what I'm saying, I like it. CD Lamb the other day when Jerry Jones said that, was interviewed and said that CD Lamb was not a focal point of re-signing basically, and then CD Lamb got on the old X and put the eyeballs, like all eyes, So even he was, and I like it when these players use social media to their advantage, and I think it's funny. But yeah, obviously it's going to affect them. I don't know. Usually the Browns are better at not upsetting their players. But at the same time, I think we all know it's going to be his last year in Cleveland. I hope it doesn't, because I said this. Everything about the Cleveland Browns is 2024. And even if we can build the team better for next, I'm sick of building. If Amari Cooper is 1% better, just 1% better than Brandon Ayuk, as a fan, to try to win a Super Bowl this year, fuck it. That's what I want, Keith. Like, I don't want to. I'm sick of punting for down the road. Just like even with the Guardians, we talk about it and what they needed to do at the trade deadline. Obviously, wasn't enough because they're imploding and getting caught. So here's the
We'll
thing.
get to that in a
I
little
know,
bit.
I know this shows. I'm sorry, but I think that's the same philosophy with the Browns. Is what I'm saying? And we're talking about a Cooper. Yeah, I think it does probably affect him, but I think it's going to motivate him. I think he's just that good. He's a consummate professional. He had turmoil in Dallas, and he came here, and I think he's kind of surprised that he was going to have it again, but he keeps putting up the numbers that he did last year. Look, he's going to be very attractive, and he might not be in Cleveland, but that brother's going to get paid. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, he's going to get paid. To me, honestly, the Ayuk Cooper thing, I don't think Brandon Ayuk is necessarily an upgrade.
I don't, not at this point. I think over. Yeah, I don't.
Now, if it was, now I'm gonna be honest. If it was CD Lamb, on the
I
other
think
hand, that's a whole entirely different conversation.
yeah. Now we're talking differently.
That's a whole entirely different conversation. And I ain't saying it because I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm just saying.
Because you watch football.
Lamb,
because you have eyes.
Yes. If it was CD Lamb, that's a totally different conversation. Because think about this. Brandon Ayuk has never been the number one guy.
No, I mean,
he's never been the number one guy. Then on top of that, CD Lamb's been the number one guy the last 2 years.
Yeah, I look at this. I've watched them both play, and maybe a lack of opportunity or there's just too many weapons on the 49ers. I see with my own eyes. If I was going to pick somebody, first pick, this is a schoolyard, this is 7th grade, I'm picking CD Lamb. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just picking it. I don't think it's just one of those things where, my eyes, and I know football, and just, hell, a lot of people say I don't know football, and that's fine too. Good, fine. But I think that most people would agree you're taking CeeDee Lamb over Brandon Ayuk. And not only with Brandon Ayuk, it's just potential. If he was a number one in a system or this or that. But it's just like saying you got this platoon baseball player and he's batting 250, but he doesn't get all the reps. And you say if he goes to the White Sox and bats the whole season, he might be an all-star. I think it's with the same thing with Ayuk.
And the thing with Ayuk, and I don't even like to come at people like this. He doesn't seem to me to know exactly what he wants. To me, he doesn't. Because now him and San Francisco are back in talks again. And when you don't know what you want, you might seem kind of flaky to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would mix in the Browns locker room.
I don't think we need
it. Cooper is solid.
Yeah.
Solid. And you got him there to really hold Jerry Judy's hand this year and beyond, even though I think really if you can keep Cooper on a more financial lucrative team deal, I think you should after this year.
I think that's
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know everything. But
I just don't think 31 is I think he could play to 35 and still be good, but I don't know.
I do too, because the man can run routes and he can lead the way for the younger receivers on this team.
How was Jerry Rice at 35? Pretty good, right?
He was pretty damn good.
That's what I mean. And
he
he did
played played for
31.
the
I mean,
Raiders, didn't he? Around
yeah, but
that
not only that,
time,
like
yeah.
Amari Cooper, like he's not 35, he's 31.
He's not even 31. He's 30.
30. Okay, 30. Okay, my
He's
bad.
30.
Okay.
So I mean, but I think the Browns and the Mike Cooper will have to have that conversation before the season starts.
Yeah.
Where look, this is not going to distract us from the goal, the prize.
Well, they might
Is
be
it?
having those talks now. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he did just put out that post, and I'm sure, I'm sure when he went to the game, I mean, he was at, I mean, they had a game today. I'm sure, like, you know, and so I'm sure somebody said something. I mean, you know, even if it's just a wink at the, you know, it's off the record, and we're not going to hear about it. But I'm sure somebody said something.
yeah.
I mean,
But honestly, and sometimes the best trades that you make are the ones that you don't
don't.
make.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this could be, and plus Deshaun Watson stands by Amari Cooper.
Oh, I don't think it's personal. I think they know it's business from that standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a shot at the organization. Look, I don't think there's no way I think that Amari Cooper has any ill will towards any of the teammates. And he's, you know what I'm saying? That's what the organization, and that's fine. Everybody, look,
Yeah.
we all work for somebody. We all work for the man in some aspect or this, that, or the other.
Right.
And to them, it's the NFL owners. And even they love Andrew Berry and they love Kevin Stefanski. But at the end of the day, it's just like anything. They're your bosses. And there's times where you don't like them and they don't get along and they say something or they
It's
act
true.
a certain way. We're all humans. I don't think it's going to affect what goes on for the Cleveland Browns this year.
Plus, Amari Cooper is a professional.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to make too many waves.
Look, the better he is, the better his wallet is. Like he's trying to play from.
Yes.
I mean, he's not retiring anytime soon either. So
No. And like I said, if I was the Browns, if I can get Cooper on a more team-friendly deal where you paying him a respectable amount, I ain't talking about just chop him off and give him $12 million a year. No,
yeah,
I ain't gonna do that. But if you can pay him at a more respectable,
yeah.
at a respectable pace, maybe like they're paying him this year, like 2 years, $55 million,
Yeah.
something like that. 2 years, $52 million, or something like
and
that.
guarantee the 2 years.
Yes, because Amari, number one receivers aren't the easiest thing to find.
No.
Because you don't know if Jared Judy is going to flourish to the number one spot.
No, we saw Elijah Moore last year, and I don't think he lived up to expectations.
No. No. So, I mean, if Amari Cooper balls out this year, expect the Browns to probably try to make him some kind of little contract offer during the regular season.
Yeah, that'd probably be the only time to get him because if they wait till
And I understand that you got to pay JOK. I understand you're going to probably soon renew Miles. But Cooper is a big part of this team.
It's a good problem to have. I remember days being a Browns fan
Yes.
that, you know, I couldn't even name 5 good players on the team. And yet the fact that we're arguing, you know, about who to pay. I mean, I'll take this problem over the problems that we had for most of the time they came back since 99.
Exactly. Now, speaking of a team.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more gloom or doom, let's go to it.
Speaking of a team who, to me, kind of missed the opportunity at the deadline.
Yeah.
And my words and prophecies have come to fruition. What was that team's name I told you about?
Minnesota.
I said, watch out for the Twins.
Yeah.
The Twins took a doubleheader to the Guardians. Whew, swept them. Whew. That's 2 straight doubleheader losses.
I know.
Ooh, oh, ouch!
Is that like getting a broom to the head, but like the other side, and you're getting whacked? Like it's not going good.
You really want to know what you getting that broom to?
Tell me, I know what you're gonna say, and hey, at this point in the time and stuff, feel free to give paint as vivid of a painting as you want to.
It's not good right now for the Guardians. It's not good. I'm not mad at them, but it's not good. They did a couple of things that I really didn't agree with. When they brought Lane Thomas in, you immediately sent Will Brennan down to the minors.
Yeah.
Will Brennan is a good part of that team.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
And now, if Lane Thomas would have been hitting 270 with about 18, 19 homers, you can explain that better.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That would look better optics than to just send him down for a guy for a right hand version of you.
Yeah, it's well, they're up 1-0 right now. Breaking news, breakhead
I
news. They're up
know
1.
Steve Kwan hit his 12th home run of the
Oh
year.
my gosh! Oh my god, he did. Okay,
Yes,
so I was on the We Like Sports show, as you know. One of my bold predictions was that Stephen Kwan would hit 12 to 15 home runs, and I was scoffed, I was mocked, I was ridiculed, Keith. I was ridiculed, but my
I
bold
know.
prediction comes true. And Stephen Kwan, thank you. And that might be the only radical thing I ever get right. So I got to take my victory lap. And thank you, Keith, for giving me a platform to do so right now.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome. Take that victory lap. Like I told y'all. I told y'all.
Motherfuckers!
I told y'all Quan was gonna come through. And he has. You know what the
Yes.
problem is with the Guardians? And I'm gonna say this. It's two problems.
Mm.
And it all got something to do with five. All got something to do with the number five.
5. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Hit me. Hit me.
First off, our lineup is only 1 through 5. 1 through 5. And Angel Martinez got sent back down.
Why? What?
He got sent back down to the
I
minors
saw that.
yesterday.
Why?
1 through 5. 1 through 5. Let's say you got Stephen Kwan batting first.
Pretty.
Revolving door batting second. It was Jimenez. Then it was Angel Martinez.
Should still be 14.
Now it's Lane Thomas or whoever.
I don't.
Number 2 is a problem in the lineup. Number 3, Jose. Ding, 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 ding,
Ding ding
ding.
ding. Yeah.
Number 4, Josh Naylor.
Ding ding
Ding,
ding
ding,
ding
ding,
ding.
ding, ding, ding. Number 5, Fry. Ding, 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 ding. But after that, it's nothing nice. After that, it's nothing nice.
Yeah.
I wish they'll just give Jackenzie Noel more at bats.
I agree. I agree. I don't
Can't
know.
be no worse. At least he's a threat to knock it out the yard.
If he hits one home run and it hits, one every 3 games or whatever the case may be, isn't it better
Yes.
just to take your chances? Because what you're putting in his place isn't doing much at all. Anyways, it's a flat line
Exactly.
basically. You're flatlining.
Exactly. It's all bad.
Yeah.
Now, and after that, you got Jimenez is not exactly tearing the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
That's 6.
Yeah.
Who's batting 7th? Oh my God. Batting 7th. You got Noel, which to me should get more at bats.
Yeah.
But then 8 and 9,
Well,
Naylor
yeah.
and Rocchio.
Rocchio is the one. Oh my gosh. I love his glove, but damn, his bat, there's a lot to be desired.
And I actually like Naylor's glove.
I would
Now,
take Naylor's over his because I get his offense with it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I like Bo Naylor's glove.
Right.
Now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad his big brother blew a play, which should have been a sweet double play a couple
Yeah.
days ago.
That was.
But I like Bo Naylor's glove, but his bat, oh my God.
He has moments. So he has moments where it's like
Yeah, he does, but
you
it's
think
not
he's
consistent.
turning it around, and then all of a sudden he
Yeah.
goes back to.
He reverts back to the other guy.
Yeah, the hotness that you get lasts 2 to 3
Yeah.
days, and then you get a lot of dryness. That's I guess.
Now the pitching staff with the starters,
Is that the other 5 you're worried about? Yeah.
because pitchers can't go 5 innings.
Nope.
And what's really concerning now, Trevor Bybee is hurt.
Oh, God. Don't say that. Stop it. Stop.
Just being honest.
But Saturdays were supposed to be fun, Keith.
I know Saturday's supposed to be fun, but Ed, this is reality speaking.
Reality. Hey, what was that PM Dawn song? Reality used to be a friend of mine. It ain't no more.
But our starters can't go no more than 4 or 5 innings, which
What?
now has taxed the bullpen.
Yeah.
Because now K. Smith is starting to look mortal.
Yeah. Well, Hedges is hurt. One of them's on the is hurt. So
Henkes is hurt.
and yeah, that's it.
Henkes is hurt. They're all starting to look human in the bullpen, except for Clase, who's superhuman. But the rest of them in the bullpen is starting to look human.
Can Clase win the Cy Young this year?
Possible, but they're not going to give it to him.
I mean, the numbers, if they, I don't know, I haven't looked at them lately, but if they were what they were when I saw them.
He still has a 0.35 ERA or something, doesn't he?
Well, that's okay. Well, that's kind of the one I'm worried of. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
Well, that's low enough.
But
he leads the league in saves, and he has that low of an earned run average. How do you?
And now Carrasco went on the DL on the IL.
Thank you. I don't know if that's bad or good. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
But we got to get Bybee back, and Gavin Williams has to show up.
Well, I thought Cobb did good yesterday until they brought him back that next inning, and then then
they kept him in a batter too long or something.
Yeah, he was.
But
yeah.
Cobb, I'll give him a flyer.
Yeah, he gets one more
game. You know what I'm saying? First.
And where's Matt Boyd? I heard was doing really good in Columbus or whatever. So
they need to bring him up.
Yeah, I would say
5-6 innings. Bring him up.
I agree.
Bring him up because we need pitchers that can eat up innings now. Because the bullpen is starting to show wear and tear.
Yep.
So 5 is my concern. 5 with the batting order, 5 with the pitcher. And the sad part about it is the ownership could have did more.
Yeah, I don't think that they recognize that how much the taxation of the bullpen was going to play, because now it just seems like there's a mental strain with this whole team. You know, they're losing games, and I think like they lost 7 in a row going up into this game, and I just you look at them, and I just don't feel like, I know it's a long baseball season. Hell, maybe they'll win the next 10 in a row. I don't know, but I just feel like they hit a rut, and they've. You know, this is something they haven't seen all year, because up until this point, they haven't lost but more than 3 in a row. So I definitely feel like if they can get over this mental hurdle, and it might take them some time, but look, they can't play themselves out. I mean, they might lose it to Minnesota, but they got to still be, in that wild card spot. And so basically stop losing games, because there's teams behind you that they're not so far behind you anymore. That's the thing, that cushion is not as nice as it used to be, Keith, or non-existent at all when it comes to Minnesota.
Speaking of Bo Naylor, he just hit another home run.
Just hit a home run. There you go. It's, maybe we just need to stay on the air, because every time
it's like when I criticize Bo Naylor, that's when he starts hitting.
Right.
When I don't say nothing, when I laud him and applaud him, he goes back into his ways.
There you go.
But when I criticize him, oh my God,
Keith, here's what I want you to do. Every day, a lot of people look at like a prayer book, or have some kind of psalm that they look at, or some kind of inspirational message. What you need to do, and for Guardians fans, is every day say something mean and nasty about Bo Naylor, and just continue to harp on that. And people may call you crazy or this, that, or the other, but you know what? You're doing.
But it works.
It works, and that's what we're sticking with here.
Yeah, because Bo Naylor hit a home run. The Guardians are up 2-0. In the
6th, is it 5th or 6th?
6th
okay.
inning. And Gavin Williams, so far so good.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can go at least 7 or at least I'll say 6. Hell, give me 6.
5 innings pitched, 2 Ks, giving up 2 hits.
Does it give his pitch count? Does it give his pitch count at the end?
His pitch count is 63.
Oh, he got one more in. All right, we're gonna get 6 out of him.
He got 1 or 2 more.
Yeah,
he got the 6th and the 7th. Hopefully, if Gavin Williams can go 7 innings, the Guardians will stop the losing streak.
I agree. I agree to that. I agree with that.
If he can go 7, but that remains to be seen, because got to play Minnesota.
Okay, Keith. I know it's about an hour, but we've talked about the Guardians, we've talked about the Browns, but today obviously we can't leave the show, and the reason I'm bringing
show came.
we got to bring up the dream team. We got to bring up the gold medal.
Congratulations to the
Yeah.
U.S. Olympic team who won the gold medal, and they beat the French in their backyard.
Yeah, I know.
Chef Curry.
Doesn't that feel good?
LeBron James, the man from our neck of the woods,
Yeah,
MVP.
and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. And you think about it with LeBron James, his beard is about almost gray as mine.
I was talking to somebody at work about that whole thing, and I honestly think this. I think the fact that LeBron keeps it gray and leaves it as long as he does is like basically taunting the young cats out there. Like, I look this old, and yet I'm still the greatest, the best player
Still
right
the top
now.
player in the league. Yes.
I think he purposely looks shaggy like that and old because it's just to taunt the young cats and said this old OG out here is still on the top of the basketball.
And I'm going to say this about LeBron. Longevity wise, he is the GOAT. Longevity wise, he is the GOAT. Think about it. He's playing at a high level at 39, going on 40.
Yep.
He'll be 40 in December. Man, it don't look like he has no signs of slowing down either.
No. That's the thing. I mean, do I think that he's the same player as he was? No, of course not.
No.
But at the same time, the way the game is played and he adjusts to it, it's kind of like the impact of his aging hasn't been seen, that like the likes of it that we would have seen in the old NBA, like, when Magic Johnson got older, when Isaiah got older, when Michael got older. I mean, it's just like there's no way to hide it. And I think with this way that basketball is played now, LeBron, even if he isn't, because I'm not even saying he is, like, to your point, I do think that he is a freak of nature and he is, but even if he was getting diminished skills, I still think he could thrive in a way that those other cats could not have done in the old NBA, because it's just different. And that's a good thing because we get to actually watch these players have more longevity now. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Look at Durant.
And the way he is going, you actually could propel LeBron probably in the top 3 of the top NBA players of all time.
I think the argument is always going to be him one and Jordan the other. It's 1A and 1B, 1A and 1A. However you want. People want to argue about it all the time. I
would have to say my top 3 would be Jordan, Bill Russell, and LeBron.
I think that's hard to argue. I think the Russell over Chamberlain because Russell won those titles. Chamberlain was just so much like there's a
Chamberlain
reason
was a freak too.
Yeah,
but he could never beat Russell when it counted.
Also, too, I think that it's like Tom Brady. People are like, is Tom Brady the best quarterback of all time? I think he is because I think playing quarterback, there's stats of your arm strength, your touchdowns, your this, that, or the other, like Madden stats. But there's also a stat called winning that is, like Dan Marino compared to Tom Brady. Some could argue maybe Dan Marino was a better quarterback, but
better quarterback and much better arm talent.
Right, but he didn't win. I think there's something to be said about winning. Like the whole argument about LeBron versus Jordan is that you can't argue Jordan is the better winner. When you go 6-0, and I hate when they say too that they always diminish who the Bulls beat in the 90s. They're always like, well, LeBron had to go against the Golden State Warriors. I get that, and Miami had to go against that. I get it to some extent. Some of the teams that LeBron faced in the finals were really good, but Jordan beat a really good Supersonics team with Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. He beat Utah with Stockton Malone twice in 97 and 98. The first time, yes, he beat the Lakers. They were aging. But then he beat a really good Portland team with Clyde Drexler. And then he beat a great team of Dan
Phoenix
Marley
team.
and Charles Barkley in that team. So don't tell me that the people that Jordan had to beat to win the championship, people always diminish them and said, oh, the Bulls. And maybe the Bulls were that much better, and testament to them for being the team that they were. But I hate when they diminish those 90s basketball teams. Even the Knicks that, lost to the Houston Rockets, and when the Rockets went, those were some really good team in the 90s. The Cavs would have been a really good team. They played team ball, and I think the 90s basketball, because the Bulls were that much better, really, really great teams that will never get the due that they deserve.
No, they won't never get the due and everything. And you're right about that. You got to put respect on Jordan's name.
I know. I just, from a winning standpoint. Now, do I think LeBron's a better basketball player? Yes, because here's why. LeBron can play all 5 positions. LeBron is the numbers, the longevity and the number of positions he plays makes LeBron the best player ever.
Yeah, because dude could still be the point guard if he wants to.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like the flexibility you get. So you're telling me you're going to create a player, Keith, Okay, you're creating these players in the lab, and then you create a Michael Jordan, and you're going to get a shelf life of a normal shelf life. He's going to age like a normal player, and then you get this one mutant gene in this, and you're like, this is going to become a LeBron James. He's going to rule basketball for 20 years, never get any worse than he is, actually get better with age, and then not only that, he can play all 5 positions. I'm going to take the freak genetic mutant like that.
I'm gonna take the freak guy.
Yeah, that's me too.
I'm gonna take that guy, and that
Yeah,
guy can
right.
play for you for 20 years
Yeah, give me that guy.
and not fall off.
No.
Because think about it. It was slippage when Kareem started getting up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It was slippage a little bit when Jordan started getting up there.
Bird got hurt with his back. I mean,
Bird got hurt. His career ended too soon.
Yeah.
If you really want to think about it.
Yeah.
Doc left about 32, something like that, 32, 34, something like that. Charles Barkley, injuries derailed his career. Injuries derailed Isaiah Thomas's career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Injuries derailed Allen Iverson's career.
It's called aging. It's called that's what normal people do. And LeBron, he doesn't get hurt. He doesn't
get hurt. He never had a serious injury. And dude's a physical freak. But one thing I do got to give LeBron credit for is the way he takes care of his body.
Oh, like no other. Him and Kobe were the ones that I think took a lot. Yeah.
And even Kobe's injuries caught up to him.
Yeah.
Because Kobe wasn't the same Kobe at 36, 37 or whatever. He wasn't the same Kobe. But LeBron has been the same LeBron since the day he came out against Sacramento.
25 points at Arco Arena. Never forget.
Yes, but congratulations to the U.S. Olympic team, the men's team. Now, the U.S. Olympic women's team will play tomorrow against France as well.
Let's go, team. Yeah,
hopefully, the Team USA ladies pull up the GOAT. The only chance they got to lose is if the WNBA All-Star team poses as the French team tomorrow.
That's true. That's a good. Hey, that's a nice one. Good one. I see what you did.
That's the only way they got.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
If the WNBA team poses as the French team. Other than that, you might as well give them that gold medal and everything.
Yeah.
And who else? Also, shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson as they did win the 4x100 relay.
That look back. That was cold. That was cold, Keith. That was cold. That was cold.
It was. Woo. Shout out to Simone Biles for winning her gold medal.
Noah Lyles having COVID and still getting a bronze medal after he won the 200. I mean, that guy is a dog. I mean,
shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that participated in the Olympics on Team USA. And let me ask y'all a question. What happened to the great Team Canada in the Olympics basketball team? What happened?
They played.
All I kept hearing about was Team Canada.
Yeah.
Team Canada. Team Canada.
Yeah. You know, though, it's fun. I will say one thing. It's fun that there's like a little bit of rivalry brewing between Team Canada and Team USA because of obviously the natural boundaries. I mean, they border us, which, we always, when it comes to international basketball, it's always been us versus, back in the day it was the Russians, but obviously they're never going to be the same again. But now you got the Baltic countries, Lithuania, the Joker countries and Croatia and this, that, or the other. But there's no natural kind of rivalry. It's always a new one every couple of years. And maybe but with Canada, because it's not just Canada in the aspect of we're dealing with Joe hockey player Canada. They got Shea Gildress. They got some, even with the whole Drake thing. And I'll say this. Is it fair enough for me to say this, Keith? One thing about Canada in the last 20 years, they've kind of got little street tested, hood approved. They got Drake. When you think of Canada, you don't think of just some white dude playing hockey. They got some brothers now. They're playing basketball. They got some swag. They're in the rap game. Canada's a little different now, and it's the USA. They got a little bit of swag. And to see
Canada ain't in the rap game no more.
Okay, well, Kendrick killed him. Maybe Kendrick killed him. I don't know. But I think there's from the standpoint of like an urban kind of cultural, musical kind of flow, because that's what sports are. Let's be real. That's the one thing we like about sports, and one thing we like about NBA basketball is the ties it has to hip hop and that culture and everything, and that's what makes it great. Canada, obviously, when they had the Raptors and Drake and all that, that was fun. You can say what you want, but it is fun to have that. I like that kind of music. I think a lot of the audience does too, and I think it's fun to have those natural correlations together. So I think that's fun. So about Team Canada becoming a rival, shit talking, and I think that's fun. It's just good, and it's good. And to see them flame out like they did, hey, now there's jokes you can make.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what makes sports fun.
Seeing them flame out is like me wanting to see the Celtics lose.
Yeah, right. There you go.
But I will say this: if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum score 50 apiece against Golden State in the two meetings, they're going to point to these days.
Remember you asked me, was it cool or not? Was it cool or not cool? And there was a Jason Tatum and not Kerr not playing him. Hey, it's still not cool. Man, if I'm Jason Tatum, I'm not only dropping 50. I may catch an attempted murder charge later on. I don't know. I might be mad.
You remember when you remember on the Temptations, the movie The Temptations?
Oh, and
when the guy wrote the song "Papa Was a Rolling Stone" and Dennis Edwards was salty, and dude said, "Before you didn't have no passion, now you got it." That's what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now Jaylen Brown got the dog and the passion, but Jason Tatum don't. But I bet you'll have it this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you bring them over there.
They're the most disrespected world champions ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's fine. That's what makes. I like that though. I think a lot of people you get disrespected. I don't know. I think it's fun to be a team like even like Boston, and obviously they're the champions, and that's fun to be a champion. But the league's calling you out. People calling you soft. People calling you this, that, and the other. I don't know. Ohio State, when they won it in 2002, I felt the same way. It's like I think Michigan's going to have that same thing this year, where a lot of people are going to say you didn't deserve it. You're this, that. That's the fun of coming back, and now you have even more reason to shut people up. And I think that's a great thing about sports, because winning's winning, but unless you're winning and shit talking, it's not really winning then, is it?
And you know what Michigan did? They named Jim Harbaugh the honorary captain.
I saw that. That's a big FU, middle finger to the world. I don't like. I'm a Buckeye. I'm a Buckeye, but Michigan. I respect the shit out of that. Well played. Well played.
I just cracked up when I say that. I said,
they said, "Fuck you."
We still got our title, bitches. Yeah.
I love that show clause for a guy. A show clause for a guy in Jim Harbaugh that the penalty's not going to matter unless he goes back to. What do you mean a show clause for he coaches in the NFL? Like what is the penalty? Like I got punished for a league that I'm not even in and probably will never go to.
And to me, I'm gonna be honest. They won the title fair.
I know.
I mean. Hell, it's like, come on now. It's like, let them go and have a title, and we win it this year. We can abolish all that.
I agree, and that's fine. I think, it's fun for the rivalry of Ohio State.
Yes, and I think what we're going to start doing, covering pretty soon, we got to start covering Ohio State football.
You're going to have to. They're going to make us give it. They're going to give us no choice because they're going to be dominant. I think it's Georgia and Ohio State this year, and everybody else. Now I know Oregon's ranked third. One thing with this new Big Ten, obviously, it brings in Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA. But Oregon now, I didn't expect this. Maybe I should have, but I'm looking at the rankings, the coaches, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, Ohio State 2 makes sense to me. Then I look, and I'm like, the fuck, we got Oregon at 3, and I know
and we gotta go up.
We gotta go to Oregon. You just took the words out of my mouth. I looked at the schedule. I told my son, I was like, Ohio State and Oregon just became a lot more interesting now, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like Michigan and the team we got to pay attention to this year.
And we're both coming back with new quarterbacks. They obviously lose Bo Nix, and I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but we got obviously Will Howard. Now, Will Howard's looking good. I know there's some discussion with Devin Brown, and, we got Air Noland, and we got a bunch of the kid we got from Alabama. But
is Devin Brown still wearing number 33?
He is, and he looks like I won't even. Yeah, he's looking. Yeah.
I said I'll never diss no college kids, so I'm gonna
say this because my name is Ed, and I think I can get away with it. by him wearing 33, it looks like somebody that's special ed would be wearing it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I can't help it anymore. I can't. I wasn't gonna drop the R word, but I think we all agree, and so I'll go with special ed. It doesn't look right. 33 on a quarterback. Sorry, I know you're trying to
it
give homage
doesn't.
to Sammy Ball, but this isn't 1930s or whatever the case may be. This is going to be 2030s pretty soon. So I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't either. But anyway, that's our show. We like to thank you all for listening and watching and everything. See, the numbers is up today as far as
Hey,
the audience and everything. Thank you all for watching. Without y'all, we don't really have no show and everything. Y'all are important. But we do appreciate if you comment. Makes the show go more.
oh, we're so great. Maybe we intimidated them. You know what? Hey, call us idiots, call us morons, call us whatever you want to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. We're ready for it.
Yes. And anyway, I think we'll be back on our regular day next Sunday at 12 p.m. I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about. I don't know if the Indians are going to be in first place or not by then.
Yeah.
But
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But definitely figure it out. The Guardians better figure it out and everything.
Amen
for
to
sure.
that.
They better figure it out. We ain't even talk about the Cavs today, but we ain't got to talk about them. Hey, they'll be all right.
They got a week off of us making fun of them. That's all.
Exactly. Got a week off and everything. Plus, it was tough luck week this week. You know, the Browns losing. But honestly, Browns losing don't really. September 8th.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. September 8th.
I think it does. It's kind of like I was thinking about this. We got all excited, and I know they're meaningless preseason games, but I think our demeanor might be a little different if they would have won the game. They were flat. They were down 23. It was kind of a boring. Like, I think that the way the game went and the fact that, like, you know, we were looking for things and there was a couple things, but overall it's a bland game, and I think we are a little disappointed, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, bland, and hopefully they work out the kinks against Minnesota and everything. But I will like to be at them joint team practices.
That would see. I think that's the highlight of the whole training camp.
Yeah,
I think that's where they get the best.
Because now
work.
Deshaun gets to throw against the live bullets.
That's the real stuff.
Yes. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. And next week, be sure to watch us next Sunday at our regular time at 12 o'clock. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Got anything to say, Ed, in closing?
Stephen Kwan has 12 home runs, and my prediction was right. Thank you.
For Keith Allen and Ed in Columbus, we are All About Sports 216 signing out. Peace.
The sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
Smash mouth,
We in
baby.
it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
Smash mouth,
We in
baby.
it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?